first. He does get to go first, so let's see where this gets us. We start off with Cyber Emergency. Originally a Cyber card, but I feel like at this point, this deck has used it more than any Cyber Dragon player in the world.
Yeah, no, Light Machine Searcher being used as a generic type of support for Drytron, as the consistency of this deck is very much reliant on the ability to cycle all of your Drytron monsters, discarding for cost, special summoning themselves from the hand or the graveyard. And yeah, it's a 2-card combo. Alpha Zeta does anything in the game if you really want to believe, but of course we'll see some new action from New too.
I really like what Marco did there when Sven activated the Cyber Emergency. He immediately grabbed his deck, wanted to get this machine card out, and Marco went, hey, wait a second, I might have an interruption, please
let me think about that one, yeah.
And then he took 5 seconds and was okay,
yeah,
go.
I think he does actually have an Ash Blossom there, so maybe holding it for Alpha specifically is like a good point. Ben 10 as well. Do we still play Ben 10?
Yes, we do still play Ben 10.
Yeah, all right.
You can't, like, it is a bit odd with the New 2 because you can't ritual summon it out anymore, but still the Surge effect, when it is used for the effect of the Drytrons, is just too powerful. And honestly, this may be the most iconic 2-card combo in the game. Alpha Zeta, but immediately stopped by the Ash Blossom there.
Zeta discarded, and now we can use the Zeta to tribute to Special Summon itself here. That's going to be able to pick up the Midionis Drytron. And tributing Ben 10.
Yes.
That's huge.
Oh boy, there it is.
Pastore, actually a veteran of the game himself, and a fellow left-handed duelist, if you're wondering. You are allowed to mirror your field in such a way if you choose to use your left as your dominant hand for checking the grave and handling your deck. So, yeah, gonna pick up a light fairy here. Are we running Ava once again?
I don't think we are actually. No.
There's a lot of there's a super teched out Drytron deck actually. We'll see if some of those cards come up later. No spoilers just yet.
Absolutely.
But yeah, Sven is definitely prepared for Yubel. Let me tell you that.
For sure. And I mean, you have been mentioning Marco there as a left-handed duelist, but I think we have a left-handed duelist mirror match here on our hands because also Sven is handling his deck on the left. So let's see where this gets us. We did search out the Diviner of the Herald. Lately, this card has been seen more in voice strategies, but of course still a classic in Drytron, and there's the effect Veiler for it. Marco with the answers.
That's a big hit there. Ash Veiler. Can Drytron keep extending through this? We still haven't resolved our Nova, our Field Spell, or our New 2.
I think this is a full Fiendsmith combo right here. If you believe.
If you really want it, yeah. If you really want it, for sure.
Also very iconic 2-card combo, by the way.
Yeah.
We also, of course, have some generic extra deck options, like just going SP Little Knight, maybe if everything goes south, but let's see. Oh,
we do.
Oh, the Midionis Drytron can still be activated. So let's see.
Gonna perform a ritual summon here.
We're going to use Alpha from the hand. All right, and we go for Benton. I mean, yeah, if we just don't plan on using the effect of the New 2, then we can just also summon out the Benton, of course. We just have different options, different routes to go with this deck, because you can just play a safe combo as you did before the release of that New 2, just with also summoning out those non-machine ritual monsters.
Is this a Link summon here? We're going to go for SP Little Knight and pass? Not strong. That is the power of Ash Veiler.
Yep. Another iconic 2-card combo, by the way.
Ash Veiler. Maybe into a Samsara D Lotus. That would be a nice little start here.
For sure.
I mean, there would still be the option to go for SP Little Knight and banish that Samsara D Lotus.
Yeah, no, there's still a Masquerade playthrough here, so going to be wary of that. But Yubel, of course, quite filled with a lot of pushing power to be able to fight through a field of just a lonesome Masquerena.
For sure. Linking off a Ben 10 can't feel right? You need to tribute it in order to
they're
get
both blue monsters, right?
Fair enough.
So ritual without the arrows, right?
Honorable Link monster at this point, yeah, for sure. But I mean, honestly, if it does get back to Sven, Drytron, of course, a deck that has so much resources every single turn because the Grave is your biggest resource there. Oh, okay, we are activating a field spell, and that is Nightmare Throne. And probably, you could argue this is currently the strongest field spell that we have in the game, in the format.
Multiple different effects here, being able to start your plays as a 1-card combo and also being used as an extender in the middle of the combo here, choosing to go for the Dark Beckoning Beast.
Ooh. Honestly, that is indicating that... I mean, yeah, okay, he can't really do anything about the Beckoning Beast searching out the opening, and at that point, it's already, like, super strong.
It's really powerful here because I think Sven is going to feel somewhat that it's necessary to disrupt this play here as we go for the gate, then add, and then maybe on resolution we SP Little Knight banish the Beckoning Beast to prevent the extra normal summon, and it denies the revival of the gate, but I don't know if you noticed, but Marco has a 1-for-1 in hand.
Oh my, does he? Sven is thinking about it, and I think he lets it through. I mean, you can just wait for them to normal summon a second monster and then just go after that, potentially.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Well, no,
okay,
wrong one.
Took a step back there. Okay, Sven thinking about it here maybe, because, I mean, if you do go for that, you can just banish for one with the SP Little Knight, and then if he gets to another card, you can also banish another monster with the other effect of the SP Little Knight. So I think going after it here may not be that bad of an idea, honestly.
Yeah, Little Knight is just such a powerful card to be used in tandem with the Masquerade, because you get that initial banish, and as you mentioned, the further banish as well, denying bodies and ability to do the link climb for this Fiend pile here. So looks like Sven is going to check out a little translation on, I believe, the gates here, just to see if that is going to be good in response with the Masquerena.
I'm very curious how well this Yubel deck plays through the... Okay, we're interrupting here. That is very interesting. Are we going to go after the gate, possibly, and then hope that your opponent is going to do Yama, and then we banish Yama on the search as well to deny a lot, but then that leaves us open to everything.
I think we just banish one of the monsters here, yeah.
I can see that
And then
too.
as soon as he tries to get another monster onto the field, we also use the other effect of it.
Yeah. The question is, if we 1-for-1 here for Samsara Delotus, how good is that against SP? Because you tribute it, you summon out the Spirit of Yubel, and I guess you still have the Dark Beckoning Beast on the field to destroy for Nightmare Pain that you might search with the Spirit of Yubel. It's going to be a little bit difficult for Marco.
I think it is playing smoothly through an SP Little Knight, to be honest. I think when you get to that point now, and when you also have that 1-for-1 and you've already spotted in his hand, it could easily play through. And yeah, Sven also has to give a little nod to that, because that is one of the cards he didn't want to see there.
Iconic card in and of itself. 1-for-1 played for a long time here. Lots of powerful level 1s we've seen in the game. That's going to be a Luri, actually.
Okay.
That is also kind of big, because that Fiendsmith engine plays around the SP Little Knight quite well.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I mean, if you just go for the Lotus and then hit that Spirit, it's going to deny basically any way to keep pushing. But the Fiendsmith engine is just so resilient for disruption, and going to be able to try and push through this here.
And I like this a lot, because now, I mean, otherwise the Engraver just attacks over SP Little Knight. You don't have to finish this game on this turn, because your opponent only has one card in hand.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, so we do summon out the Engraver. And now the thing is, for Snake Eye, that might be a bit of an issue, because then you don't get anywhere really. But the Yubel deck, of course, has Aerial Eater technically available to it. But we do go for the Necroker Princess here, interestingly enough.
Yeah, it's basically full combo, because once you get to the Aerial Eater, you can then send the Lotus and then bring it back with the gates, and then you can just basically go full combo from there. So, yeah, doing really well to play through both disruptions on Marco's side here. This is beautifully played. Let's see if he can... muscle through any potential last cards in hand, although I think the final card in hand we know is Medionis Drytron here.
Did he add it back?
Yeah, he added it back from the grave by reducing the attack.
Okay.
Oh, but then he did use it actually to summon out.
Yeah, he summoned out Benton, and then I don't think he had an opportunity to bring it back. So there is the Aerial Eater. Here in this deck, we actually summon it out also through the effect of the Fiendsmith Sequence, and not through just its normal ability to be fusion summoned.
And now we discard the Chamber, another card you don't want to draw, but the opening from Sven wasn't good enough for Ash Blossom and Valor, so you don't even care if you have a bad card in hand, you can discard it anyways, and now this is an open field for Marco.
Yeah, no, it's really, really strong just how much the Fiendsmith engine does for Yubel specifically. Yeah. I mean, previously, it was just well-suited in Snake Eye, as you mentioned, because of the ability to bridge into your Snake Eye engine through Beatrice, but Aerial Eater sort of taking up that spot in Yubel as the way to connect your Yubel engine through Fiendsmith because of that send. Okay. Alright, and a huge combo here with the throne destroying and then summoning out the hand as well. Yeah, no, this is really, really powerful.
So many monsters just in general coming down here. Is that now the fusion summon? Oh no, it's just Yama, alright.
Yama gonna find Shervara. Shervara can pop the Yubel. And of course we also, I think we searched out the Squirmer with the Nightmare Pain.
We did.
Yeah.
Did he put the Aerial Eater back into the extra deck to summon Yama?
That's what I thought. That's why I was wondering what how it went down. But yeah, I thought so as well.
Okay. Shouldn't matter too much. Hopefully our judges will keep a track of that, just to make sure that this is
definitely is there in the extra deck. Maybe there's something about Aerial Eater. Maybe we have to double read. No, not really. So we are still continuing with the linking. There is Rage. And even though that Drytron deck has so much follow-up in the graveyard, playing through a Phantom of Yubel and a Rage is going to be very, very, very tough in general.
Yeah, I mean, even if we can't close out the game here, because usually Yubel does kind of struggle sometimes into an open field without being able to do all that reflected damage with the Yubel monsters, you're still going to be able to set up quite a powerful follow-up here, regardless if we don't take down with damage.
Oh, there's the aerial needle. Look, we spotted it. There it is in the graveyard.
Good
I mean,
job,
it's better off in the graveyard, to be honest, because
is,
you can summon it back. So you want to have it there. For sure. Okay, there's the Shavara now.
I love that the reflective damage is still a part of the Yubel deck, because back in the day when Phantom Darkness came out, you actually played the deck like that with some trap cards that forced your opponent into attacking your Yubel monsters.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's been somewhat prominent over the course of the recent years. We saw Yubel Fire King doing pretty well in Duel Links, and here it is with some support in TCG, and yeah, working quite well together with anything that involves destroying.
Working quite well is quite the understatement for a deck that just won the World Championship, to be honest.
Absolutely.
But sure.
Yeah, it was pretty much untouched at the World. Well, I suppose he didn't have the TCG exclusives.
Yeah, you were missing Aerial Leader and Necro Princess, which actually is definitely a hit, but it wasn't enough to stop Ruben Panorama, of course, from winning the entire thing. In the
You still had Beatrice as well. So
they did,
and Lacrima, of course. So nice little substitution, basically, for the TCG side of things, losing Beatrice and Lacrima with the recent Forbidden Limited list. And, of course... and
do we also get to Varuras here? That's crazy.
Yeah, that is 2 level 10s on the field.
Yep, grabbing our extra deck, overlaying, and that is such a crucial card against so many different matchups. This is what makes the Yubel deck also so good into, for example, Labyrinth and those trap card reliant decks, because you don't only get to negate, but you could also get to destroy in the end as well.
And I think that's why one of the benefits of Yubel, specifically with Varadras, is that typically you don't really have a lot of spell and trap interaction. You know, you have so many ways to disrupt your opponent's monster effects, but spells and traps not so much, and that's where the Desiree and the Varadras work so well.
For sure.
And yeah, we do a little bit of damage, and in the end phase, the Beckoning Beast and the SP Little Knight return.
Now Sven on 2,200 life points, picking up the extra deck
There
and
it
all
is.
of the cards, so might be important.
True.
Not for him, but sure. Drone Lockwood's still, though, a pretty big problem for him. But this card, Cyber Emergency, same as he did lead in game number 1, of course, playing into that Drone Lockwood if it is miraculously there in Marco's hand, but it is not. So Sven already can feel safe about that.
Yeah, I mean, Drill and Lockbird is also a card that's being played recently, seeing a bit of resurgence. It is super, super strong against Yubel, and why people are loading their main decks with hand traps and powerful things like that, just to deal with the Yubel deck here. But no Droll in this matchup, and it looks like we might be somewhat uninhibited here as we go for the Alpha Zeta combo.
Oh, Marco! Oh! Is he letting it through? I think it would probably be Abyss here, but then you would have to decide, do you want to go after the Benton? Because you can go after the Benton and then it wouldn't be able to activate its effect. Or do you go after the Zeta, making it not come out to the field? That is what he is doing in this case.
I think that's probably a very good play if you have more hand traps, because now he gets to search the Diviner of the Herald.
Yeah, that's a good point. So combining Bestials with other hand traps works so well, particularly into Drytron here. And as you mentioned, the activation location doesn't quite get to resolve because it was discarded for the cost there.
But there is the new guy in town. Oh wait, no, is it him?
Yeah, we are searching out Mewtwo.
That is Mewtwo, right? Yeah, and look, he has to read it. Marco immediately picks up the card.
You know, there is a new boss monster for the Drytrons, but this one's is new too.
Yeah, it is new too. Gotta love it, Leo. You're
I'm on fire today.
On the ball.
The new one, the new sheriff in town. Of course, preventing him from summoning anything but machine ritual monsters, but there is pretty powerful machine ritual monsters that are also, as you just said, new boss monster in town is of course the Drytron Meteonos Da Draconets. The new version of just the Draconets. Yeah, it's just
Mourner as well.
Get Mournered.
I mean, this is like the only Drytron monster that actually activates on the field. Like, all the others just do it while they are summoning from the graveyard as one effect, but Mewtwo actually activates on the field. And therefore, we are able to hit it with the Mourner here. And your guesses were right. He did have another hand interaction to follow up the Magnum with there.
Yeah, working so well together, the Bestials and all of the other different hand traps available in the format. So Super, super strong, especially into Drytron. Still able to keep extending somewhat here because of the bodies provided from these monsters, despite their negation. You can go for the Fafnir. Beta Fafnir, going to be able to send a Drytron from deck to the grave and then be able to maybe cycle something like a Gamma for more bodies. I'm not sure if we can actually perform a ritual summon, right?
I mean, we don't have the ritual spell, which is already a pretty big problem. So maybe that was very wise from Marco there to use the Magnamut on the Zeta.
Perhaps we can maybe do something with the
You can send
Diviner.
it with Fafnir.
You could send it with Fafnir, that's true. Yeah, there would be a way into it. But I think instead, we are going to the already... Yeah, that is the already mentioned new Draconits, the Draconits.
So it has 5,000 attack. How do you ritual summon this? Because you detach materials equal to the attack points, right?
Yeah, so you already have like 4,000 attack points ready from the Mu Beta Fafnir, and then you would need another one, yeah?
Yeah, it's quite a heavy cost, isn't it? But a powerful boss monster in its own right. Definitely a huge addition to this deck. And replacing the Herald cards that Drytron so iconically used to run to be able to provide multiple disruptions. And here is the Diviner for the normal summon. Only normal summon required in this deck. And we are going to be sending Herald of the Arclight here. That's going to be able to pick up
another Ben 10.
Possibly, but I mean, isn't that also... Can't we search a ritual spell with this too? Yeah, you can. You can search the ritual spell with the Herald of the Arclight as well. Usually they always search the ritual monster, but very clearly with Herald of the Arclight you can also search a ritual spell. Unusual, but still very well spotted here by Sven, and he will be using it. Yeah, there it is.
You have to go for that just because it was denied from the Bestial hitting the Zeta there, so we are sacrificing off for the Draconids here.
Okay, but that just works apparently.
You can probably detach 2 and sacrifice.
Oh, does that work?
I don't. Apparently.
Yeah, true. It does. Yeah, because normally you wouldn't have to tribute the Mu Beta Fafnir itself. Yeah, true. So it acts as it all together. Yeah, that's really, really cool to see Mu Beta Fafnir putting in the work, and we haven't even activated Pot of Prosperity yet. Are you kidding me?
That's
the one-off, the limited card now, still in the opening hand, and I saw in his side deck there is plenty of options you want to get here. How about an anti-spell fragrance for 2, for free? How about a different dimension ground? How about a dimensional barrier? Or how about Trap Trick being all better than 1? What do you think about that? There's so many options, man.
Yeah, that's the thing. Prosperity is a great card just because after you've been disrupted, once you play through a couple of disruptions, you can then fish for anything you need. Do you need an extender? Do you need another starter because of all of that disruption? Or are you happy with your combo and then just dig out one of these powerful side deck cards?
Yeah, I love that. The trap card, spectacular. Give me 14
look how is he revealing them. I don't see purple. There is no trap cards.
You can go Called by the Grave. That's a pretty strong card.
Yeah, there's a couple of good options here. We've got Droplet Call by for disruption. Potentially Nova as well if we want to go for more extension.
Yeah.
Emergency. We actually used Emergency.
Yeah, we did already use the Emergency.
We don't need to control no monsters for Nova, right?
Oh, are we?
Oh, is he taking Emergency?
Oh, but
there's
does
no way.
He remember that?
Look at that on the bottom of the graveyard. You rather don't want to make that mistake there. That could have been a costly one.
All right, Svenny boy. Okay.
He did remember in time. All of those options honestly aren't that great. Look, we just take the called by. Yeah, it's just going to be called by.
Yeah, called by really good. You know, you can hit the Spirit of Yubel. That's going to shut off a lot of extension because it is not a once per turn. And denying all of the bodies is going to be super powerful. Does Sven know that you refer to him as Svenny Boy?
I probably don't know.
It's not the first time I hear it, that's for sure.
All right, so remind us exactly how this Draconids works. What is the disruption and how is this such a powerful monster in this matchup?
It's actually so insane because, first of all, continues the fact saying your other Drytron monsters, which are plenty on the field right now, as you can clearly see, cannot be destroyed by card effects. But also, not only once per turn, but twice per turn, when your opponent activates a monster effect, you can just banish a Drytron monster and from your graveyard, actually. So that at least works. And then you can negate the effect activation and destroy the card too.
Yeah, so the whole theme of the Drytrons is that they're very much kind of like attack-based. Ritual summoning with attack points is not something you really see. It's quite a unique thing about it, and therefore, likewise, the disruption acts in a very similar way. You can see here the Magnamut resolves in the end phase, searching out Druid's Worm, and still in the end phase, we could potentially bring out Druid's Worm just to set up, potentially forcing out the the Draconids, but maybe you want to save it for your turn because it is twice per turn. And you would essentially give them 3 disruptions almost.
I think we're definitely waiting on that.
Either way, you're going to banish Drytrons from the graveyard with this.
Yeah, true. It will be successful. The banishing of Drytrons will somehow happen. There's opening of the Spirit Gate. Speaking of one-offs, right?
Yeah.
On the one hand, we see the Pot of Prosperity. Here we have the opening of the Spirit Gates. Honestly, not the optimal opening now because we cannot search opening with the Dark Beckoning Beast now anymore. But of course, we are playing the Chaos Summoning Beast to kind of make up for that.
Is he still playing that?
I'm pretty sure I saw it in game 1, didn't he?
Because usually people don't play that anymore because of the fact that...
I thought I saw it in game 1, but there is no, it is not. So that is actually very crucial because he cannot activate the effect of Dark Beckoning Beast here.
Yeah, impact of the Forbidden Unlimited list.
Yeah, so because of the limitation, people generally don't need to go for the second name anymore.
But you already have 2 Dark Beckoning Beasts.
Easy.
Wow.
Is that good though?
Not ideal, you know, opening 2 portions of that engine. You really want to be seeing like something like a Throne, a Nightmare Pain, and a Spirit of Yubel potentially, but that kind of is checked by the Call by the Grave. So, yeah, I mean, it's really, really... It doesn't look like much, but it is a super powerful boss monster combined with Call by the Grave. Very, very strong.
Very, very tough to answer. And Marco right now struggling to find any potential answers in his extra deck, but now apparently he has found one. Is that going to be Yama? Looks like it. Maybe also Phoenix to just go after one of those set cards already. But that would be a huge commitment, wouldn't it be? Or it is just the Yama. Fair enough.
Right.
No time wasted on Sven's, and he immediately responds with the Draconits.
Yeah, here it comes. We're banishing the Fafnir. Low attack points on the Yama, checked by just a singular banish. We still have 1 more disruption in the tank here for the DA Draconids. Da Draconid.
I like the Da.
Da Draconid. All right, Yama is negated and destroyed. We can potentially use the Spirit Gates to discard and bring back another body.
There's the Druid's Worm now. You kind of have to respect it, right? You have to negate it.
Yeah.
Okay. For a second, I thought if they're targeting a Dark Monster in their own graveyard, you could kind of hinder it with Called by the Grave, but of course we're not going to do that as they just targeted a Drytron monster in the opponent's graveyard.
It's big value to just get rid of your opponent's Drytron and summon a body in the process, but I think without a doubt, Sven's going to feel inclined to negate this because the Druid's Worm can just be linked off and forces out the Draconids.
Oh, look at that. Little did we know, there is the Druid's Worm on the field.
That's interesting. Okay, we're going to let the Druid's Worm resolve here, but... Yeah, you just make Closed Heaven and then trigger the Druid's Worm to force out, no?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
I mean, now we can Call by that, but actually that trade's somewhat okay with the Call by. That might be the best value we get for the Call by, because Call by is pretty bad into the opening of the Spirit Gates because it doesn't target, and therefore that doesn't really work. Oh, Marco, that for a second looked like he would pick up his cards, but no, he's still in this.
He just wanted to tidy them up just to tear them apart again.
So not a lot really that Marco can do here unless he specifically has a good discard with this gate, because if you go into the Fiendsmith engine with the Requiem, I think you absolutely want to negate the Requiem special summon.
Yeah. But I think, I kind of, it says to me that he has Throne in hand. The last card.
Okay.
Wait, did he just activate? It looked like he activated the Moon.
Oh, what?
There's no way, right?
No, you can't.
Or are we just going into the battle phase, maybe? Attacking?
Apparently.
Wouldn't really be.
He was pointing towards the Moon, yeah. It has 1,200 attack points, so maybe that's just the battle phase right now.
Big.
Wait, maybe where... Was he using the effect?
I think he's just using the effect of Moon.
How do you get to a Link 5 now with all the monsters on the field? You have to
be a challenge.
You have to summon a Link 5, and I only see 4.
You don't have to use it immediately, right? It's just this turn if you Link summon a 5. Right?
True.
So maybe just trying to like...
We're baiting.
Yeah,
I think we're baiting pretty surely, because in that Yubel extra deck, there's no way you find space for a Goddess, let's be real.
No, it's one of the tightest in the format, for sure. And there is the Link summon using the Light Fiend of the Closed Heaven to go into the Dark Requiem. And yeah, I guess Marco's just deciding, do we commit to the Requiem here? Because you can see in his hand we have a Fiendsmith Engraver. So we could use that and go for Attract and try to do something from there.
And I mean, eventually we will also have to worry about the Yama in the graveyard, because as soon as we destroy something on the field, that Yama is going to trigger in the graveyard. Okay,
but this
it's good now because it's not on the field when it goes and uses its effect now.
Yeah, so because it tributes itself for cost, it's in the graveyard. It doesn't trigger the Yama because you can't destroy something in the grave.
That's nice. Let's see, can Marco extend through that, or was that really enough?
You should be able to, right? We've got
the opening.
We have Throne still, so...
Do we have Throne still?
I think he has Throne in hand, yeah.
There it is.
That's massive.
And this is basically just full combo from here.
That's a giant throne.
I mean, we did normal summon, but of course there still is the opening of the Spirit Gates. Is there maybe a Cosmic Cyclone? No. Oh! There is no Cosmic Cyclone. Leo, I'm sorry, your favorite card not going to be in play here.
I keep saying it. You know how insane this card would have been here?
I mean, he is siding it, and I wouldn't be surprised if he also sided it in, but didn't pick it up. Like, all of his powerful going first card. Oh,
and the droplet on summon. That
might
really
work.
rough.
That might work.
So how did we get the Lotus on the field?
With the opening.
By discarding?
Itself, yeah.
What did we discard?
It's
Oh, just discard this Lotus. Yeah, because it doesn't target, of course.
The good old Lumina,
Yeah.
summon Lumina.
Oh, Marco checking the graveyard. Any way to extend from here? Oh, just imagine a Fiendsmith tracked or something now.
Yeah, he's got Engraver in hand.
Oh, he does have Engraver in hand?
Yeah.
Oh no.
He's just trying to figure out like how to
That's
sequence
bad news
after.
for Sven.
Yeah.
Engraver discarded. And Sven is shaking his head. He knows what that means, and Marco is going to execute now. How far does that Engraver get him?
Yeah, no, already using, not using any portion of the deck here, although starting with Engraver is a little bit weaker, but still more than enough to get a combo going here as we bring out the Luri, discarded for effect from the hand, special summoning itself from the graveyard.
This is looking pretty good for him right now.
Luri on the field. Oh my. That is a good card to have there as your last card in hand. Also, it was so well baited, right? Because he was going for the Requiem, so you would not really expect him to have the Engraver, and therefore you negate the Requiem because it also doesn't trigger the Yama, and then
Yeah, you
just
have to
Engraver
kind
comes
of
through.
negate that, otherwise you're at the point where you're probably going to lose.
Oh, okay. We're going to put back the Moon to summon out the Engraver now.
Now this has already outed the field. Now, it doesn't matter what Marco does with this field now. His opponent is in top deck mode because the Diviner can just be attacked over. And there is nothing left. There is nothing in... Oh, he just activated the Draconids? Did he just point to it? Are we having a secret effect here?
Maybe that's another one of those cases. I'm not aware of it, but let's see. Maybe we can find it.
But it did get destroyed.
If it is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can special summon a ritual monster from your hand or deck, but I don't think it is destroyed. You're right. I think Engraver doesn't do that. Nope. We
Cards too
played
good.
around that. Marco knew all along.
Cards too good for those shenanigans.
Wow. Massive display here by the Yubel Fiendsmith deck. Maybe you see here why this might be the best deck of the format right now, because, I mean, it is also very much paired with a fantastic player here, because Marco is piloting like this like an all-star, isn't he?
Yeah. And he's crashing these
yes.
That's
the
so
Yama.
good.
It's Yama time.
Oh!
Yeah.
And the Samsari Lotus was negated on summon, meaning it never tried to even activate this effect, and therefore in main phase 2 we are absolutely free to do it then.
That is such a cool spot from Marco there.
Yes.
Yeah, being able to crash the Lotus, triggering the Yama, bringing back the Lotus, and as you mentioned, because we didn't use the on-field effect of Lotus yet, it has to be preemptively used. The droplet has to be preemptively used because it does tribute for cost. It means we can now go for the Spirit of Yubel and play the game.
Now we have big full combo.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, honorable mention, we had a 200 damage Luri kick.
Very much, very much. Also, I mean, I was saying when we used for Called by the Grave that might be the best value we can get for the Called by the Grave on the Druid Swarm. But realistically, Called by the Grave on some Saudi Lotus is probably the best thing you can do against Yubel decks, right?
I feel like negating the Druid Swarm could have put him in a better spot.
Probably.
So the issue is that Drytron was 2,500 attack, so I think you get rid of all of your follow-up because then you'd have to banish twice from the Draconids, right? Not just one monster from the grave?
Why?
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's 2,500. It negates and destroys.
Yeah, you have to banish Drytron monsters for the
okay,
attack
yeah.
points. You have to make sure that works out.
So maybe he was considering his follow-up, which is why he didn't stop the Druid's Worm, but yeah, now Marco basically just has to sequence. Even a small, mediocre combo should be able to deal with a Drytron deck in top deck mode.
Yeah, because there was also quite a big amount of Drytrons banished already by the Dragonites. So if you go into SP Little Knight at some point, you're going to banish the last one out of the graveyard, if there even is one more. And then you're even putting your opponent out of top deck mode because there probably isn't anything that they can.
Very hardly there is, for sure. And I mean, Desiree will also probably be summoned to the field eventually. That means there is one more card to stop, even more potential top decks. Phantom, of course, a card that always is going to be there when there is a Yubel end field. So it's looking rough out here for Sven Redman and his Drytron deck. He's going to be in dire need of the most insane top deck of his tournament run so far, I guess.
He's already looking pretty relaxed at this point. This is maybe someone who has accepted his fate.
Yeah, Varudra's on the field now too.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely incredible. You know, the Fiendsmith engine, you can see some nice sequencing there because we recycled the Closed Heaven early. It means we can go into the sequence, and then the sequence fuses.